Hello everybody, welcome to Phoenixville Library. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and those of you on Zoom as well for zooming in. Our special guest tonight, Donna Debs, is a former Philadelphia area newspaper columnist and news reporter for KYW Radio. She's also a longtime writer and yoga teacher, two disciplines that keep her cleansing the chaos in her mind. Her debut book, Wash Your Brain, Stories, Laughter, Yoga, Life, won gold in the Independent Book Publishers Association's 2025 Book of the Year contest and silver in the Reader's Favorite annual contest. She was also named Humor Writer of the Month for June 2025 by the respected Erma Bombeck Writers Workshop. Tonight she's here to talk about her book and to help you clear the chaos in your head. Please everyone welcome Donna Debs, and those of you on Zoom, please stay muted. Sorry, I should have. Oh, those of you on Zoom, please stay muted.
But I feel you. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
And thank you all for being here. So, Mark told you a little bit about me, and I'm going to tell you probably a whole lot more. But I want to start out with an apology. Because sometimes when people think they're coming to hear humor or learn about humor, they're expecting someone like Amy Schumer or Amy Poehler to stand in front of them. I'm not like that. Those women are great comedians. A comedian is someone laser focused on crafting a joke. Specifically on creating a joke that will hopefully make you laugh and hopefully make you laugh out loud. That's what a comedian is. A humorist, on the other hand, is someone who lives life and then the humor just sort of happens. Often it happens after a crazy time. The flight gets canceled, the car breaks down, the ankle breaks, the shoes you're dying to get are not available in your size. Tragedy. The great humorist James Thurber said it this way: humor is emotional chaos remembered in tranquility. Humor is emotional chaos remembered in tranquility. So the old saying, pain plus time equals humor, still stands. So a humorist is someone who lives life and in the process of living life stumbles upon a laugh, and in the process of finding that laugh often stumbles upon a lesson, learning how to live life with a lighter heart. The laugh and the lesson. That's what humor is to me. So the bottom line is, I'm not here tonight to tell you jokes, except maybe one or two if I can pull it off. I'm here instead to tell you how one person cleanses the chaos in her mind by writing humor-ish stories, which turned into a book. Wash Your Brain, Stories, Laughter, Yoga, Life. You can see it over here on the screen, maybe. I've told you a lot about the book just by the title. The book, Wash Your Brain, is about 1, writing stories to get the craziness out. 2, doing yoga to quiet the mind that way too. And 3, connecting with other human beings on our shared foibles and frustrations. I've had a lot of those. I've had a lot of mishaps and misadventures in my life. Maybe you have too. My mom used to say I was a bull in a china shop. My husband will not leave me alone with a large knife. One sip of a margarita can propel me right off a bar stool into a Stephen King-worthy horror show. And a lot of you know my friend Noelle over there, and she can attest to that fact because she has been part of that experience with me in the past, yes? Yes, she has been part of that experience with me. And so, since there is so much chaos in my life, in the world, in addition to writing these stories, I've also spent many years turning myself upside down in convoluted yoga poses to try to let the stress out, ooze out that way as well. The way I see it, I need 2 disciplines to keep my head on straight. Why are writing and yoga such a good combination? Because writers love to stretch the truth And writers love to twist the ending. And writers often stare at a blank page. And as a yogi, I can pretend I'm meditating. And both writers and yogis are searchers. Yogis are always searching for nirvana, enlightenment. And writers are always searching for an agent and a publisher. See, that was a joke, you got it. All right, great, you got it. So, the way I look at it, it's a two-way cleanse. 2 ways to take my 3-pound brain out of its hard shell case, do a little scrubbing and rinsing of the neurons, and insert it safely back, just in case I happen to need it. If you can think of an easy way to describe the book I got out of this unusual pairing of these two disciplines, I guess you could call it Zen humor. Laughter with a Zen heart. Hopefully readers get some good laughs, and at the same time they learn a thing or two about lightening up in their own lives. So, Wash Your Brain was my pandemic project. People say to me, why did you write it? First, during the pandemic, we all thought we would die. So I wanted to leave the book as part of my legacy. Secondly, instead of spending the whole time moping around the house, I wanted to challenge myself to do something new, to learn something new during that time. And some of you may know, writing a book, publishing a book is a huge challenge. Third, I wanted to sift through the columns I had written as a humor columnist for 15 years and understand what bigger stories those columns may have contained for my own life, for my own knowledge. And finally, since I was completely crazy about the pandemic, I thought I would go totally over the top and do something that made me absolutely nuts. And believe me, that made me absolutely crazy. So, many of you may have a book in you. Many of you may have started a book. It is said that 97% of the people who start a book don't finish it. 97%, sort of a sad number, right? Because many people have that dream. It is said, in fact, by the smart people who say things, that there are 3 distinct parts to any creative project, writing a book, painting, whatever. 1, begin it. 2, complete it, a whole separate step. And 3, release it or share it. Give it away to the world. Otherwise, it won't feel whole to you. To get myself to second base, to complete the book, I put this quote on my computer. See if I can remember it. I read it every day, so I should. Many people have a book in them, but it takes a certain kind of freak to leave the land of laziness, cross the plains of procrastination and insecurity mountain. I'm seeing head shaking. Grab that blade of no one made you do this and use it to cut your chest open and yank that book out. Yeah. It's a good one, right?
You're feeling that?
Yeah, it's a good one. So I wanted to be that freak. I also knew I would feel, and this is really, really important to me, and maybe to you too, I hope. I always knew I would feel a whole lot worse about myself if I didn't complete it than if I did. Mm-hmm. Yes, right? That the struggle to complete it was going to be easier than the pain I was going to have to deal with myself if I didn't complete it. Okay. And also, I had a mantra that I said all the time. Also on my computer, in fact, it's sort of my life mantra now. Be bold, have fun, F it. That's it. Yep. That's it. And sorry about the language, the implication of the language, but sometimes you have to let go of anything, any effing way that you can, right? That's it. That's all you can possibly do. was the first thing I ever remember writing. I love the lovely spring and all the birds that sing. I love the lovely flowers, the ones that last for hours. I love everything in the spring whenever I hear the birds sing. Brilliant. I wrote that in first grade.
Oh, really?
It was in a school newsletter. The first time I saw myself in print. Yes, it was published without spending years of rejection, looking for a high-priced agent, or buying a multi-million-dollar publishing house. Good luck right out the gate, right? Fast forward. Does anyone remember the comic strip Brenda Starr? Anybody remember that? Oh gosh. Huh? She was a news reporter. Brenda Starr was a gorgeous redhead news reporter in love with an international man of mystery named Basil St. John, who wore an eye patch.
Minor details.
Huh? Minor, right, right. When I was growing up, I wanted to be Brenda Starr. Sidebar. The comic strip was written by a woman named Dahlia Messick, originally in the 1940s. It ran for decades. She couldn't get it published because she was a woman. Tried and tried and tried. Finally changed her name from Dahlia Messick to Dale Messick and got the comic strip.
Of course.
And she eventually became America's first syndicated female cartoonist under the name of Dale for her entire. We have so many examples of that in literature and in writing, right? All righty, so much for equality. Fast forward. My first job out of college with a communications degree. Coffee runner at KYW News Radio in Philly. Great job. Then a writer, a news reporter, and an editor. I met Omar Sharif. Handsome. Oh my God, handsome. We have the same birthday.
Whoa.
So I knew he was in the building, and I just walked up to him and I said, hey, guess what? We have the same birthday. And he was like, no. And I said, yes. We had this big hug. He was so handsome. So handsome. You can only use that one day a year. John and Yoko popped in.
Stop.
Yep, fun. 3 Mile Island melted down, Elvis died. A great place to gather fodder for future stories. Fast forward, writing communications company of my own. Corporations, education, healthcare. How to say what you want people to remember in the simplest, clearest, most exciting way. Fast forward, woke up one morning and I said, I'm done writing for other people. I want to write for myself. But what? Right? Some of you may have had that same question. I want to write, but what? What exactly is it? What can I contribute? I see a listing in the local adult school catalog for a humor writer course. Friday mornings, 10 a.m., 6 sessions, $20. I said, I don't know. I said, well, if I don't repaint my kitchen cabinets or, reorganize my family photos or move to Bangladesh, I don't know, maybe I can be available. And then I said, humor writing? Me? What? I've always loved to laugh big. Noelle will attest to that too. She's a laughter too. There you are. So she's backing me up over there. Always loved to really laugh. But to be the creator of a laugh or a smile, that was not part of my professional identity. But I looked at this little course and I said, yes, instead of yes, but. I picked up the thread of an inkling, and that has become so important to me in my life. This little tiny inner guidance that said, you know what? That could be good for you. That could help you. That could help you lighten up. You might like it. I mean, what do you have to lose? If you hate it, don't go back. $20. If you hate it, don't worry about it. I was the only person who made it through the whole class. And my teacher at the end said to me, she was my cheerleader, she said to me the words that were spoken to the great humorist Erma Bombeck decades ago. She said to me, "You can write." I said, "Yeah?" She said, "Before the next class, I want you to send these pieces that you've written to half a dozen area newspapers and ask for a humor column." I said, "What?" She said, "Do it." And because I'm a good student and I do what I'm told, I did it. I never would have done it if she hadn't put that in front of me. She hadn't laid down the gauntlet. You do it. And I did it. Heard nothing for 6 months. And I just gave it up for lost. And then one day, I got a note in the mail from the Daily Local News in Westchester offering me a Sunday slice of life humor column. And I was so pumped. I couldn't believe how excited I was. And so, that little tiny adult evening course led to something. It was such an amazing realization about following an inner guidance, right? Something that speaks to you, a thread of something that speaks to you. And so, I became the writer of a Sunday column. I learned that writing about the things that tweaked me, that made me think, or moan, or wonder about the meaning of life, turned my life into a sort of growing and guffawing experience. I learned if I can distill a situation down to its core essence, I can often find within it a way to lighten up, to laugh. When I get to the end of the chaos, by writing it through, I can often find the laugh, and in the process of finding that laugh, I can often find the lesson. The laugh and the lesson about lightening up. You know, when I talk, I almost feel like I present myself as this chaotic individual who's got all these horrible things happening to them. But I would guess, if you're human, and if you're anything like me, you have some chaos too. I would bet you're always thinking, planning, organizing, analyzing, agonizing, awfulizing, minimizing, maximizing, magnifying, justifying, criticizing, rationalizing, yeah, dramatizing, catastrophizing. If you're anything like me, I would bet some of this relates to you. It is said by the smart people who say things that we have anywhere between 6,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day.
Whoa. Wow.
Some of you maybe have heard that number before. 60,000 is like one thought per second. And the smart people say, this just blows you away, really. 95% of those thoughts are repetitive.
Oh, yeah.
You might think right now of some of the things you always say to yourself. I hate the way I look. Why did she say that to me? I can't believe I have to get up in the morning. You know, whatever it is. And then the smart people say, of those 95% repetitive thoughts, 80% are negative. We know as human beings we have this bend towards negativity as a protection. 80% are negative. She hates me. I hate me. I can't believe what I look like. Over and over again. Maybe, if you're anything like me, maybe. And so, since there's a lot of this chaos, in addition to writing about it for many, many years, I've also been teaching yoga for the past 35 years. Because as I said before, for me it's a two-way cleanse. We all have different ways of cleansing the chaos. Yoga has been one of my biggest helpers in my life. Maybe it's pickleball. Maybe it's pottery, maybe it's painting, maybe it's photography, maybe it's walking, maybe it's swimming. something to be able to take what's going on in your mind and running it through a filter. So maybe on the other hand, on the other side, you come up with a lighter way of living your life. I teach what's called Iyengar Yoga. It's a very disciplined, alignment-oriented school of yoga that works to balance the body and the mind. It's been one of my greatest ways to calm the chaos. And if you guys are amenable, what I would like to do right now is show you a little bit about how the yoga piece of the wash your brain equation works. Yeah? Are we game?
Yeah.
Are we game? Okay. Sit up straight.
Do I have to take my shoes off?
You don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to take your shoes off at home. But you probably have your shoes off. No? But you do have to sit up straight. Okay. Just a couple of quick little things. First of all, where your head is placed, this 3-pound brain, is very crucial to where your mind is. So in yoga we will say this. Just look at me for a moment. If your head is forward, you're in the future. You're not in the present moment, right? Familiar? Present moment is your head directly balanced right over your torso. If you tend to hold your head forward, it's very likely you're thinking about what's happening next and not being in what's happening now. If your head is backward, it's said that you are ruminating about the past. So once again, you are not here in the present moment. You are thinking about what happened and being aggravated, repetitive, negative about that, and not being where you are now. So, just as a little exercise, take your head in your hands. You don't have to tell anybody, but do you notice that you have a tendency to be forward? Yeah. Backward. What you're looking for is a place where the back of your head is directly in line with your back body. You may be able to feel, this is subtle, you have to tune into it, that your front brain pushes forward when you're forward thinking, your back brain pushes backward when you're backward thinking, but when you're centered in the here and now, there feels as if there's a bit of space front, side, and back around your brain. Subtle. But if you can catch it in your daily life, it makes a huge difference in and of itself in quieting your mind. Okay. Just be with wherever you can position your head at the moment. Close your eyes. Take your hands, put them around your rib cage, lower ribs. Notice that you're breathing. Just notice that you're breathing. Don't try to change it. Just notice it right now. And follow along with me. The way the normal breath works is that you take a breath in through your nose if possible. Not everyone can, if possible. It's a healthier breath that way. Breathe through the nose. And I want you to notice that at the end of the inhalation, there's a pause. Very brief pause. Exhale through your mouth or through your nose, whatever you can do. And then I want you to notice that there's a pause at the end of the exhalation. This is the way the breath works. There's an inhale, a pause, an exhale, a pause, and then the next inhalation begins. This is another very quick way of calming the mind. Simply putting your hands around your rib cage is comforting and quieting to the mind, because it is said in yoga philosophy that the breath is the lord of the mind, the king of the mind. What the breath does, the mind will do. So if you can just get in there, I say just, if you can get in there and just watch your breath. Inhale. Honor the pause after the inhalation. Exhale. Honor the pause at the end of the exhalation. Wait until your body says, it's time. Inhale. Honor the pause. Exhale. Slow the breath down. Be easy, soft, the witness to your breath. One more breath this way. Inhale. Honor the pause at the end. Exhale. Honor the pause. Slow, soft, easy, no forcing, no pushing. Now, release your hands, keep your eyes closed. Take a couple of normal breaths with a bit less focus. And just notice, subtle, can you feel that the mind has quieted down? When you are ready, open your eyes. And you may feel that instead of being in the future or in the past, you have arrived. You are here now. Stand up. If that's not possible for you, you can do this sitting down. So when you do breathing work like this, you go into a very internal space. I'd like you to bring you back into our space together. Take a breath in, lift your arms. Best you can. Extend upward, press your feet down into the ground. Extend your torso up toward the ceiling, fingertips up toward the ceiling. If you can. If not, interlace your palms, do best you can. If you need to take the arms more forward to do this, do that. Palms up, press up. If you are going up toward the ceiling, press the arms up toward the ceiling. Elbows into the body, palms up to the ceiling. Press your feet down, extend your torso upward. With me. Breath in. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to twist over or extend over to the right. It's going to look like this. Exhale. Keep your back foot pressing down into the ground. Stretch your palms away from you. Inhale, come back to center. When you are ready, another deep inhalation. Inhale. Reach up. Elbows into the body. Feet pressing down. Exhale. We're going over to the left. Stretch. Keep your back foot pressing down into the ground. Extend the palms upward. Come back to center. Take a couple of breaths. Stretch up one more time. Inhale. Release your arms. Tiny, tiny little stretch just to bring you back into this place. Take yourself back down to the chair. And center. That's our time. Good. With yourself a little calmer, perhaps, and maybe with your mind a little bit scrubbed, and then we stretched it out a little bit so that you wouldn't be in that internal space as much. I'm going to beg your attention for another couple of minutes while I read to you a quick bite story from my book, Wash Your Brain, which is, I think, very appropriate for this snowstorm we have coming up. So, because I saw that, I said, oh gosh, I just have to read this piece. So, do we need more stretching? How are we doing? We stretch enough? Yeah? We need to run in place a little bit? We do have to do that before the snowstorm, though. We all got to get out and do something with ourselves, right? Okay. So this piece is called Alert the emergency room, I'm using the snowblower. Goes along with all those mishaps and misadventures we spoke about before. Against my better judgment, one day I learned how to use the snowblower we finally bought after years of either shoveling by hand or paying some embarrassing fee for a guy with a big shovel attached to a macho truck to come to our rescue and make Ray look like a puny weightlifting failure. My savior, I would croon, as the BTOD, big truck on driveway, lifted the barrier between us and the outside world as easily as Superman lifted his damsel, Lois Lane. Not anymore. You're not going to believe how easy this is, said Ray, as he rolled the new orange robot out of the garage after a big snowfall. And then, with the patience usually reserved for people paying him money, he proceeded to give me enough directions to make me look longingly at our silent shovels hanging frozen in time, relics once worthy of custom-created hooks on the dingy garage wall. The lesson formally began with him saying the snowblower weighed 200 pounds, almost twice my size, and ended with a deep pause, a penetrating stare, and an emphatic warning that should I ever find this whirling dervish getting farther and farther away from the house, with me being dragged along like a mound of slush, I should just let go and it will stop. In between the rollout and this fear of doom, he said something about a choke, which sounded like the most counterintuitive mechanical process ever created. He said, put the lever in the open position for off and the closed position for on. Because I looked like he was speaking an Inuit tongue, he leapt over the machine and grabbed my throat for show. See, I'm choking you, and the choke is on, but your throat is cut off. Since I lacked enough blood to even nod, he kept modeling this action until his handprints became stained on my neck like sunburn on an ice cube. Then we both started gasping because he'd forgotten to turn the real choke on, or maybe off, and we were inhaling giant balls of smoky fumes. Just let go and make it stop, I screamed. And he swaggered back to the machine like a cowboy to his horse, and finally choked or, I don't know, unchoked in instead of me. It was the look on Ray's face when I took our new family member out for an inaugural stroll, giving it an encouraging pat on its square bottom, that made me start swaggering myself. In defiance, because his head was cocked sideways and he was staring bemused like I was a kid learning how to ride a bike. He was curious to see if I could keep the thing moving safely straight ahead, or if I'd lose a toe to the churning sharp teeth, spitting out pure white and hopefully nothing red or flesh-toned. He has seen me burned, stabbed, sprained, and broken by everyday events so often that he waited with a mixture of entertainment and fear, wondering if this would be my finest hour or my latest trip to the emergency room. He also knows I need to understand how everything works down to the smallest minutia. And when a giant aha goes off that rivals the Big Bang, I begin babbling about why I didn't become a world-class scientist and maybe there's still time to rethink my career. But by the next day, when he suggested I practice my new skills, the idea seemed as foreign to me as if we were on the ocean and the driveway was underwater. I couldn't even remember how to get the machine out of the garage. Do I have to turn it on first? What if it rams into my car? What if I forget to open the garage door and my snowblower and I die from our respective chokes? I even mashed and bloodied my finger, pressing my password into the garage keypad. Pressing is not as harmless as it seems if you approach the task hoping your finger will prevent you from proceeding any further. So what do I do when the next big snow comes? Do I nostalgically reach for the shovel, back-breaking or not? Or should I be brave and conquer the orange churner, though the thought makes my hands and feet curl tightly to my body? Or should I climb to the top of the roof, wearing a windblown dress, high heels, and red lipstick, of course, and pray that Superman, with his X-ray vision and big truck, is just about ready to fly this way? Thank you, guys. So I will say, in closing, Oscar Wilde said, "Some things in life are too important to be taken seriously." The great Erma Bombeck said, "If you can't change it, at least you can laugh at it." The writer Anne Lamont says, "Laughter is carbonated holiness." Good one, right? A way to heal yourself. And I will say, throwing my 2 cents in the pile, if you can't wish it away, you can wash it. And I will say to you, namaste, which usually means the light within me sees and honors the light within you. But I'll say, the lightness within me sees and honors the lightness within you. Namaste.
Oh!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We've got some writers in the room, we've got some creative types in the room, I know we do. Anybody have any questions? Yes.
What was your most intense news story that you ever reported on, and what's your, I know it's like picking a favorite child, but what was your favorite column or what column that you wrote did you get the most response to?
Oh, I know exactly which one I got the most response to. The way my dog died. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I wrote a sentimental piece, which is a humorous, you're never supposed to do very much, but I do quite a lot of it because, as I said, I'm not this comedian. You know, it's more about processing life and coming up and finding a lightness in it. I wrote a piece about my dog dying, and I was in the Caribbean when it came out. And I was on a boat, and I was just looking, you know, saw the column came out, and then I started getting emails, and I said, "Oh, look, somebody wrote an email about the column. That's so nice, you know. We really appreciate it." They were sending me that rainbow thing. What is that? Everybody know the Rainbow Bridge. I must have gotten 15 rainbow bridges that day. Don't worry, you'll see your dog again. So that was lovely. I learned a lot from that. You know, people and their attachment to their animals. I will tell you exactly what my most noteworthy news story was, because that really stays with me. When 3 Mile Island happened. I was in the newsroom, and I was the editor at that time in the newsroom, and there were maybe 40 people around me who were writing, and the news reporters who would have covered the story are in a meeting down the hall. And in those years, it was so different. We had ticker tape machines. You know, you had these machines lined up, lines of them, that would be typing bulletins, flashes, the most important news stories. And all of a sudden, someone brought to me a 1 line about a possible nuclear reactor meltdown in Pennsylvania. And I saw it, and I said, "Wow, damn, this is big. This is really, really big." And all the news reporters were down in a meeting. And I said to someone else, I said, "Go down the hall, tell everybody they got to break the meeting. Everybody's got to come in here." And one of the assistants went down and told them, and they didn't listen. And the person came back, and I'm getting more information. And I said, "Go back and tell them again." And they went down the hall and they opened the door and they were like, into their fun meeting, It's like maybe 12 people in there. And came back and they said, they'll be here soon. I said, go now, again. They didn't listen. I got off the editor's desk and I ran down the hall and I opened the door and I said, get the hell out of the meeting now! That's what I remember the most. That was fun. I said, guys, this is real. This is not like a fake thing. This is really happening. So that was, yes, I remember that panic, that incredible panic. Everybody was like, this is real. This is real. Yeah.
Is it similar to when the pandemic rolled around?
Probably. Yeah. We know the pandemic we kept hearing about, and then all of a sudden one day, remember that day? We all said, this is real? Was that March 20th? Something like that. Right? It's coming up. Right? It was, remember that one day we all said, damn, it's real. Yeah, so I remember it. I really remember it.
It's hard to believe.
Huh?
It was hard to believe.
3 Mile Island, really hard to believe. And the pandemic, really hard to. How many things do we have? 9/11, really hard to believe. Right? Elvis. I picked up that first note of Elvis, it just said Elvis Presley dead, 42.
John Lennon.
John Lennon, yeah.
John Lennon. I wasn't in the newsroom the day he died. Yeah. You couldn't. Michael Jackson.
Whitney
Like,
Houston.
no, you couldn't
Whitney
believe it.
Houston.
Whitney Houston, that was Whitney, yeah, so sad.
Whitney Houston, another young person.
January 6th.
Crazy. Prince.
Kennedy.
Yes. Kennedy, oh my God, everybody remembers that day.
Oh, that was.
We all remember, right, if we were alive, where we were, right?
I used to substitute teach in the Phoenixville schools, and of all the things that the children wanted me to tell them over and over, tell us about the day John Kennedy died, because I
Wow.
was in Boston. And
Isn't
was
that
there,
something?
and it was, you could have shot a cannon down every single street in town. I'll never forget it.
They'll be asking us all of these different things that we just said, like Michael Jackson, like 9/11, right? Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
How did your family members react to when you talked about them in your columns?
And I think one of my sisters is angry with me, or maybe a little. I said mainly really nice things about it. I did not go for the jugular for anything.
Amen.
I did not. I just don't think I'm going to do that. That's not me. Yeah. I love my family. I love them too much. But the piece in my book that's the most serious, I think it's called Mom Guilts Us.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Is a piece with my 2 sisters that, a gathering that we had on the anniversary of my mom's death.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so precious to me. And so, yeah, I try to maintain those relationships, yes, as best that I can. Yeah.
What I love the most is, because I just did one myself. People have been begging me for it. I'm not a writer. I don't consider myself a writer, but I had to work with I paid her, a professional writer, and it was question and answer format. And I was at the damned if I do and damned if I don't point that you talked about right away. And if I don't do this, I'm going to regret it the rest of my life. I don't care what my family thinks. I don't care what anybody thinks. I have to speak my truth.
Right.
And I'll tell you something, it feels really good. You're absolutely right. When you have that in your book, because when you finally do that, it gets out that you see it, you go, who is this person? But you do it, and it's just so freeing. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I have a friend right now. I'm gonna make her watch your mail.
Right.
She's writing a book, and 97%. I never realized that.
Crazy.
But-
Crazy
and
number.
It was very wrenching to do it. I won't lie. But now it's peaceful when you get done. Yeah.
Great.
And I took the
You feel
same
good
approach.
about yourself, right? You feel good about
I feel
good-
great,
Yes.
and I
You feel
did
good
not,
about yourself
I
for
too did
doing
not
it.
mention names. I know some people are gonna be pissed on, I don't even care. Because I did it, this is me, that's my story, I'm sticking to it. Some of my family members are not
Memoir
gonna
that
like
comes
it,
up
but you
in
know what,
memoir,
I
yeah.
don't care.
Right.
It's
Right.
great, that's what I mean.
Well, in my book, my husband is my foil. The poor guy, he has just accepted this role. that I'm always putting him in stories, you know. He can't dance, you know, and I'm taking him dancing, I'm always just saying all of these things about him. My favorite is the time that I made him put on, Spanx. Made him put on Manx, they call it Manx. Made him put on Manx and he couldn't get it off. As if we don't know that, right? As if we don't know that when you put this stuff on, how the hell do you get it off, right? And I had this big undershirt and I said, hey, I found this thing for you. You gotta put it on. And I write in the book that the only reason he agreed was because I had bought a wetsuit recently and he didn't have one yet. And he was like really pissed off that I looked cool in my wetsuit. So he thought this would sort of look like the top of a wetsuit. I said, look, it's like a wetsuit. Oh, okay, great. So I tried it on and he couldn't get it off. He was freaking out. So I have a story about that. Yeah, so I use him for all different kinds of things, and he's cool with it. He's great. He thinks it's hysterical. So that's so him I do, but I don't say anything terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
So something that really struck me was when you said, let's say you're in a situation, you feel really bad, you feel depressed, to look for the humor in the situation, because there's always some humor to be found, right?
Say it again. Can humor always
Well,
be found?
Yes.
Is that the question?
That's the question, because there are situations maybe where you're like, oh, I can see the funny side of that, but then maybe there are situations where, gosh, I feel really awful and I don't see anything humorous in this.
The quote that I said before, James Thurber, humor is emotional chaos remembered in tranquility when the worst is over. It can take a long time. It can take a really long time. And I agree with you, there are some things that in my own life I haven't found the humor in. But after a period of time you can often laugh at it. Just laugh at the fact that life is so unpredictable. And these things happen, and you have to get over yourself to be able to find the joy and the positivity in your life. And I think that if you set your sights on that, which I've been able to do by writing this column, by writing that for so many years and making that a part of who I am, I sort of am programmed to look at that sooner than I would if I had not set my sights on that. So if you just have it in your mind, okay, like I said that line from Erma Bombeck, and many of you have heard of Erma Bombeck. She was great, right? She was great. She died young. You know she died young? She had very serious kidney disease by the time she was in her 30s, and was on constant dialysis. And do we see the books that came out of her?
Wow.
So when she says, if you can't make it better, you can laugh at it, she knows from where she comes. This is a choice that she made to find the positivity and the joy in her life, despite this condition that she had. And we see that all the time, you know, from people who we admire so much, and then we find out these things about them afterwards, right? We realize finding a way to go on, because there is so much chaos. Process it and find a way to be positive and go forward is, why not? It's better than the alternative, right?
Exactly.
Right?
Well, it's interesting that your book is about yoga and laughing, because I feel like there is a balance, having done a bit of yoga through my life, of sitting with something too.
Yes.
Not making light immediately of something, but facing it, and it's okay to realize that this thing is horrible. Like I think some of us know people that make a joke out of every little thing. That's maybe not, but at least I might aim for. But
I wouldn't
there's
either.
the time, there's the right time, and there's the time to sit with something.
Yeah. And you know, I thought about that little thing that I said at the end, that we each need to find a way to cleanse the chaos, and I said walking and painting and pickleball and stuff like that. Along with what you said, some of it's more successful than others. You know, there is a difference between avoidance and working something through. all right? There really is. And in writing these kinds of things, and I do automatic writing every morning just to clear my mind. That is a more successful way to process and to come to a resolution than drinking a bottle of wine, you know, than trying to dull it. So yes, you know, and I would agree. We know people who make a joke about everything, we realize that they're probably blocking. Yes, so there is, I would agree with you that there's, at least in my life, there has to be that balance of processing. And I have a story in my book, and I laugh about it because it's about this time that in the middle of the night sleeping, there was a bug in my ear. A bug had crawled into my ear.
Oh my God.
And I love that piece in my book. And believe me, that was written after, way after that happened. And it's funny, but the truth is, I was freaked out of my mind when that happened. I'm telling you, this was not like a funny thing that happened that I could write about it. It was freaking. I was just like, oh my God. I mean, like the next day I'm at the doctor, help, help, help. I mean, I was scared to death. Okay. What did it do? I thought it laid eggs in my brain. There was a movie like that once. So I was hysterical. And so really it was the chaos of the event, and then after a time I was able to write the piece, and I think it's really funny.
So more than one came out. So then more than one came out.
Yeah, right. Oh gosh, that's what I fear. I know I had to make him look inside really deep. Are you sure there's not? So yeah. So you have to. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time, and in the acceptance. So I mean that's what the lesson often is: self-acceptance, self-love, letting things go, just letting things go. Not being so hard on yourself, not being so rigid, just that. These are great lessons for me. I need that. Yeah.
When you do automatic writing, do you use your non-dominant hand?
No. Wow. Look at that. That's an idea. Does anyone know that the term automatic writing? There was a book out many, many years ago. I took a workshop with her once by a woman named Julia Cameron.
Yes.
She wrote a book called The Artist's Way.
Yes.
It's wonderful. It is really a wonderful Bible on creativity. And I remember when I took that workshop with her, it would be completely different than you would expect. She's like goth, you know, all black and black nails and everything. She's,
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's extreme. She's extreme. Anyway, a fabulous book. And one of the main things that she recommends is that first thing in the morning, you write 3 pages. She calls it automatic writing. And it's not about journaling. It's not about thinking. It's like this. Oh my God, I didn't sleep at all. Oh my God, what a horrible night. I'm going to have a horrible day. I just know I'm going to have a horrible day. I hate everybody. I hate everybody in my whole life right now. Okay, well maybe I don't hate that person quite as much. And this goes on for 3 pages, big, loopy. Clears your mind, clears the first thing, chaos in the morning, tear it up, throw it away.
So it's just a stream of consciousness.
Yeah, stream of consciousness. You don't stop, you don't think, nobody will ever see it, you don't ever have to see it again. That's a great way that's morning writing. Stream of consciousness, yeah. But I've never done it with my non-dominant hand, so I will try it. What do you think?
Well, when I was in therapy, they had me do that. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Write with your non-dominant hand. I
Yeah.
understand it. How do you do it?
It really makes you look at things differently.
Yeah.
The best you can.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
What did you say?
Take you back to your childhood. That's what it did to me. It took me right back to my childhood.
Really?
Try to give it to it.
Yeah.
Doing that kind of writing?
Yeah.
But I do a lot of things.
What, on your non-dominant hand?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you hear? What?
No.
What is your name?
Ken.
Ken. Do you hear what Ken just said? Say it a little louder so everybody can hear it.
I tried the non-dominant writing one time, well, many times, but the first time I did, it took me right back to my childhood.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Good place.
And I also found out that I can draw with my left hand, I'm right hand dominant, but I can't draw with my right hand, but I can draw with my left hand.
Wow.
And I found that out from doing the non-dominant writing. That was-
Interesting.
That was exciting.
Why not? inkling, pick up the thread of the inkling that it could change you in some way. It would certainly make you look at things differently, wouldn't you? Very interesting, I like that, good, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have anything that they would like to share? Questions, information?
I've repeated a lot to my children growing up when, we were raising them. and
Could you
all.
talk a little louder?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've repeated this to my children when we were raising them and all. I don't know if they remember, but I remember I used to say, remember in life, there's more things you'll wish you did do than you did do. You look back, boy, I wish I would have done
I wish I would have done
that.
that.
Or wish I didn't do that.
What's the things you didn't do?
Yeah.
I think I have that.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You don't want too many of those things, I mean, I can't, I beat myself up about those things, so, you don't want too many of those things that say, I wish I did, right?
Yeah.
So this is another one of those things that,
You just want to accept
right.
things.
I want to say something about this idea of, I said the 3 parts to a creative project. 1, begin it. 2, complete it. 3, share it. So, people get stuck all along that train, they don't finish it, okay. But then when they finish it, they don't share it. I know so many people who've written things and stays in their closet, never comes out, right? Sharing it is a very, very difficult thing because you put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people find, and I found it for myself, when the book was done, when I'd gone through the 45 million changes and 45 million breakdowns, and it was done, really, at least 45 million, I don't want to share it. I was really nervous about it.
Oh, you just.
Whatever you can think of, I thought is what I thought, It's not good enough, nobody will like it, it's horrible, I'll embarrass myself, it's better that you keep it in the closet. People will think you're good even though you're not, but then when you show them, they're gonna know that you're not. Keep up the facade is better. What if they hate you afterwards? What if they, you had to go through all of that. And I just had to believe that, I'm in like a writing group, and they give me encouragement. And every 2 years, there is anybody else who thinks the same way, there is an Erma Bombeck Humor Writers Conference in Dayton, Ohio, every 2 years. That's where she was from. It's fabulous. Next one is this March, in fact. I've gone every 2 years for the last several conferences. Encouraging, you meet people give you confidence to be able to do it. And I just had to say, I'm doing it. I'm going to try. I'm just going to see what happens. And people hate me. I mean, oh well. I'll have to dig really hard to find somebody who likes me to balance it out. I don't know. What are you going to do? Yeah, but that's an important part, or it doesn't feel whole. So if you have your paintings in the closet, or your photography in the closet, or your pottery in the closet, or whatever it is that you've done, it's going to feel a lot better if you put it out there. It's like, this is me, this is what I have, I just had to go, be bold, have fun, F it. That's all I could do, right?
Right.
That's it. What else am I going to do?
That's a great motto.
Yeah, that's it, my motto, right? Because otherwise, we're just not going to put ourselves out there and feel complete.
I just thought of something, because in this day and age, with social media, there's a new human being out there now, the haters, right? And I went through that too, and they're gonna hate, and they're gonna think I'm no good, they're gonna know I'm no good, blah, blah, blah. But we're doing hard copy stuff here. You're not putting it out there on the internet, or on, I never post anything on Facebook or anything, because then you get all kinds of.
Thank you for coming.
So that kind of thing. Do you think that's going to keep more people from maybe not doing it? Because there's a lot of stuff anymore that was never going on years ago.
I
People
know.
sit there and never come out in the open and never even identify them.
I know.
Just carry on. Even if they bought somebody's book and then they say, well, you can't be scared of that, I
You
think
can't
it's
be.
a heightened environment
Yeah,
that way, and
it
it just
is.
dawned on me sitting here. So what, you know?
Hopefully you will have few of them and more and more.
Well, yeah, that's just it, and with friends like that, you find out who your friends are, with friends like that, you don't need enemies.
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure. For sure, yeah,
Yeah.
people do like to be mean sometimes.
I think they are, it's more so than it has
Yeah,
been.
yeah, I hear you.
But most of that is, I think, also spawn, I'm not saying anything that way, but if you're that way, you know, like hurt people, and especially if you come out with about sensitive items, maybe they're pissed off because they can't do it yet. Maybe underneath it all, they might get mad in the beginning and then get the courage to do it later, something like that. There's your looking on the bright side, right?
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, thank you. So I just want to say, if you are inclined, my book is for sale in the back of the room. My friend Noelle will happily help you with that. There's Venmo and there's PayPal, there's bookmarkers, there's cash, or I will just say thank you again so much for being here and for listening, and I hope that it sparked you to be more willing to share yourself, or at least to lighten up. Yeah, which we all could really use.
Donna, where can people on Zoom and watching this video get your book?
Oh yeah, just look me up, Amazon. Amazon, Donna Debs, Wash Your Brain, Amazon. Thank you. Hey, and if you want to leave me a review, huh?
Wonderful, wonderful book.
Oh, Miss Allison, thank you, dear. Thank you so much for
Really
coming.
enjoyed it. You really had me laughing, and I really enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Allison. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Donna.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Thank you, Donna.